Good morning. This is a recording for Monday, May 13th. Today we will continue exploring how we can practice connection in a culture of disconnection and look at the relationship between shame and quote-unquote normalcy. This is what Brené Brown writes. Shame makes us feel like we are different, like we are the only ones. During the interview process, I cannot tell you how many times I heard, I just want to feel normal. But what does it even mean to be normal? During the interviews, I realized that sometimes the quest for normalcy comes down to numbers. How many times per week do my partner and I need to have sex to be normal? How many times have you seen a case like mine? How much weight do I need to lose to avoid a lecture at my next weigh-in at the doctor's office? Somebody, please, just give me a number. We become desperate for a measure of normalcy. We want to know what's normal because being normal affords us a greater opportunity for acceptance and belonging. What doesn't help is the deluge of messages and expectations exploiting our need to feel normal, combined with stigma about certain subjects. All of this can leave us overwhelmed with shame. And when we feel like this, we are more likely to reinforce the messages and expectations, individualize the problems, and feel like our inability to meet the expectations is about our own deficiency and pathologies. When the code of silence prevents us from reaching out to others, we feel alone, and we feed shame with secrecy and silence, and as a result end up grasping for our shame screens. When we feel all the painful and overwhelming feelings associated with shame, we are also not very good at assessing where we are and what we actually want. The good news is that we can use the practices we have explored in this series to start building shame resilience. So let's look at the 4 components of shame resilience and how we can apply them to the subject of mental and emotional health as an example. The first element of shame resilience is recognizing shame triggers. So we can say to ourselves, when I am so worried about what I am supposed to be, who I'm supposed to be, and how I'm supposed to be, I can't really figure out who I actually am and who I want to be. I must understand where these messages and expectations come from so that I can address them and move on. After we've recognized the shame trigger, we can now apply the second element of shame resilience, practicing critical awareness. In order to get my real feelings about my mental and emotional health, I have to acknowledge and filter all of the messages and expectations that block my way. And we engage in the process of investigating, researching, whatever it is that's involved in practicing critical awareness. Once we've done that, we can now reach out, which is the third element of shame resilience. I need to talk about it. And because so few people are willing to have honest conversations about the subject, I really have to build connections with people who I can reach out to be received in a compassionate, authentic way. And finally, we are ready to apply the fourth element of shame resilience, speaking shame. I need to talk about my feelings and my needs so I don't cut myself off from the important parts of my life. I don't know what is normal. I just want to be my authentic self. Now that's a very healthy and constructive approach, won't you say? Developing shame resilience requires courage and self-compassion. So today, let's do a practice of loving kindness directed only at ourselves, which will help us cultivate self-compassion that serves as a solid ground for applying the 4 elements of shame resilience to our real-life situations. As always, take a comfortable position and take a few moments to settle. Settle into your body, your heart, your mind. Settle into this moment, right here, right now. Let your breath be soft and natural. There is no need to make your breath anything it's not right now. Just like there is no need to force yourself to be anything you are not. See if you can get a sense of spaciousness and freedom in your breathing, allowing all the experiences of the present moment to flow through you as energy that they are, without struggle. Now, if you want, you can place one or both hands on your heart and start sending the energy of loving kindness to yourself. May I be filled with loving kindness. May I be well in body and mind. May I feel loved, cared for, at ease. May I accept myself just the way I am. And may I remember that I am good enough. May I touch deep, natural peace. May I be filled with loving kindness. May I be well in body and mind. May I feel loved, cared for, at ease. May I accept myself just the way I am. May I remember that I am good enough. May I touch deep, natural peace. As you repeat the words, notice how this mantra makes you feel in your body, your heart, your mind. May I be filled with loving kindness. May I be well in body and mind. May I feel loved, cared for, at ease. May I accept myself just the way I am. May I remember I am good enough. May I touch deep, natural peace. May I be filled with loving kindness. May I be well in body and mind. May I feel loved, cared for, at ease. May I accept myself just the way I am. And may I remember that I am good enough. May I touch deep, natural peace. It's completely normal to feel unworthy of receiving this love at times. Don't worry, we all have thoughts and feelings of unworthiness. It's what being human is about. If you want, you can even gently remind yourself, how human of me. and breathing gently, accept that these feelings have come up. Remember the beauty of your wish to be happy and come back to your practice. May I be filled with loving kindness. May I be well in body and mind. May I feel loved, cared for, at ease. May I accept myself just the way I am. And may I remember that I am good enough. May I touch deep, natural peace. If your attention wanders away from the practice, simply come back here again and again, as many times as you need. Remember, there is no judgment, only compassion. May I be filled with loving kindness. May I be well in body and mind. May I feel loved, cared for, at ease. May I accept myself just the way I am. May I remember I am good enough. May I touch deep, natural peace. And now gently let go of your practice. As always, scan your body and notice what's going on for you right now. Physically, emotionally, mentally. How are you, really? And as you go through your day today, I invite you to continue with this reflection. What does being quote-unquote normal mean to you? Do you struggle with this concept? And how can you develop shame resilience around any subject using the practices we've discussed today and within this series? Thank you so much for being here today. Have a gorgeous day, and I will see you tomorrow.